Ha 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 ha. Fooled you, didn't I? I got sound. I'm back. Welcome to the show, Thursday night edition. Well, look, I'm drinking me a little mint tea from my piggy cup. Well, piggy cup. We've talked about this before. Now, you can't tell it, maybe. You can, maybe you can't. I'm holding this cup in my left hand. Now, is this a left-handed mug? Because now people can see it as I sip on it. And then they'll say, huh, what a fine piggy mug that is. I like it. Or is it a right-handed mug? Let me sit this down. It's hot. Hot. If it's a right-handed mug, and now I'm holding it in my right hand, you can't see it. It's still my piggy mug. Still the piggy mug. See? But you can't see it. I can see it. I see my proud piggy prancing across the cup. Look at it going across through there as I sip on it. So which is it? Me or you? Who should see the mug? Who should see the nice print on it? I'm right-handed, so if I hold it the way I want to hold it, nobody else gets to see it but me. And it's like, wow, man, that's a beautiful piggy. But then, I want other people to see it. Looky there. What a beautiful piggy he's got. I don't know. Well, they ought to put the stuff on both sides. Last Monday was a Monday. What can you say? I don't know why. I did not spy the fact that I was not making sound, and went on and on and on. And then when I did, got a notification from the dear people in the chat, it was too late. There's Clell. Mic check, check, check. Checks in the mail. Alternative views. So I take it you can hear me this time. Is that correct? It should be. Because I've got little things going across and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I don't think I'd had my computer on since Thursday night show. Booted her up, went to work, and blah. Took me forever to figure out what was going on, and I'm not sure I really understand. And I fixed it yesterday. I come back, boot her up. You're reading my lips. So, and it changed again. Something is monkeying around with my audio settings. It's all about what devices, the default, that's listening to that device, and too much stuff going on. But anyway, I've got it going now. All right. Yay! So, I'm sorry for the people that looked at that 12 minutes of crap that was out there. I was so disgusted Monday night, I just turned the thing off. And then it was a madhouse, and I didn't get back up here. You can only delete it off YouTube. I can't delete it off my phone. For some reason, the mobile app won't give me the option to delete videos. What did I do to my hat? Ooh. Oh, too much of the forehead. There it is. My head on crooked? My hat on crooked? So anyway, I had to get back up to the computer, make up time to get up here to the computer and delete it. So poor people wouldn't be out there thinking they was getting some really good stuff, and then they got junk, 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 and more junk. So, Ley Lines. Ley, Lines's. Ley Lines. Not lions, like Lons's. But, why Ley Lines? I don't know. If it was Monday, I could have told you because in my mind, Monday night, then I had it all up in there. It was trapped, and I closed my eyes Monday night, and while I wasn't watching, it escaped. So I can't remember why I picked Ley Lines, but I did. And so tonight we'll talk about whatever I don't know, and we'll make up some stuff about Ley Lines. Now we'll read stuff that's made up. I don't make this up. I just read stuff that other people have made up. Supposedly, and we'll look at this dude that just came up with this. I won't say discovered. I guess he discovered it. But apparently, he noticed that certain historical sites lay on a straight line between each other. Straight from point A to point B was a straight line from these sites. And then he also noticed, well, if you go from point A to point B, straight line, then, oh, look at that. Point B to C was a straight line. So he's putting all these lines together and come up with this theory. And I don't think he really put the idea of mystical powers behind it. I think his was more of a practical, shortest distance between 2 points. But problem is, I mean, just in your own backyard or in your neighborhood, try to go straight line between, point A and point B over, 100 yards. What might be in the way? Of course, thousands of years ago, maybe there wasn't anything in the way, but maybe there was a, huge forest in the way. I don't know, but it would be hard to go anywhere from point A to point B in any great distance in a straight line, especially across certain countrysides. Oh sure, up and down a hill, up and down a hill, and then cliff. People would go around it, right? Oh, there blows the straight line. So let's look at that. And then later on, supposedly, people discovered, put with it, that these were power lines, Earth's magnetic, supernatural forces going along these lines, and that's why these things they were built on this line. So we'll read about that. And let me find my first edition of this. Robert, rediscovering lost technologies, possibly. Or tapping into forgotten powers. Things that were once known and then forgotten are being rediscovered, potentially. Okay, so let's do the window capture thing. Excuse me more. Oh, you're killing me. You like my little music as my little ditty? All right. So this is from allthat'sinteresting.com. I don't know. Let's see if you can read that. No, you can't read that because it's too high up on the page. Allthat'sinteresting.com. So the controversial history of ley lines from the theory of origins to its New Age connection to UFO. By Katie Serena. Edited by Kara Johnson. 2023, updated 2024, January 22nd. Well, that's today. 3 points. Yeah. And see, that's what we'll kind of look at this debunking process. But I did a show, I think, on, I know I did a show on numerology, the number things, where if you do things enough and you look deep enough, you can always find the numbers that connect things. So That's one of the debunked theories on this thing is, depending on what historical sites or important sites you're choosing and picking, then it's easy to draw, straight lines between certain things. Yeah. So Alfred Watkins, this dude, don't have a picture of him. Don't know if you ever will see a picture of him. First put forth the idea that straight lines connect landmarks across Britain in 1921. He didn't believe that these pathways had any mystical significance. Then later on, theorists transformed ley lines into something paranormal. In 1921, amateur archaeologist Alfred Watkins made a remarkable discovery. Now, I have read this in a different place where he was an amateur photographer. Take your pick. He noticed that ancient sites around Britain all fell into a strange alignment. Not all of them can. That's a lot of them maybe, several of them. Both man-made and natural monuments could be connected by perfectly straight paths. He coined these routes ley lines and opened up a world of supernatural and spiritual beliefs. So what are ley lines exactly? According to theorists, they are invisible lines that crisscross around the globe, similar to latitude and longitude lines, dotted with monuments and natural landforms. Some believe they carry rivers of supernatural energy that are pockets of concentrated energy at the places where they intersect that can be harnessed by certain individuals. Of course, ley lines aren't without their skeptics. While the idea can be tantalizing to some, others are wary of ascribing to the paranormal component of ley lines and often attribute much of the theory to pure coincidence. So, Alfred Watkins was born in Hereford, England. Watch the show Ancient Aliens sometimes. They're about ley lines. Well, don't they incorporate lots of other things, different technologies, and how was this done and how was that done without, modern type equipment, boring holes, cutting stone, and all that kind of stuff. And Craig had talked about these other kind of lines. I've got to look at them. I don't remember what he called them, but I've seen pictures of them. And I know most people have too. They're only noticed from air, so far off from Earth, you see them and they're scratched into the ground. And I'm not talking about crop circles or anything like that, which I believe have been mostly proven to be human, man-made. But these are in desert somewhere on a plateau, and there's a spider and a monkey and all this other kind of stuff. That might be for a different show. All right. So Alfred Watkins was born in Hereford, England, January 27, 1855, to an affluent family who operated several businesses in a small town. As Watkins grew up, he began taking on duties for the family trades and developed an intimate knowledge of the region. Watkins also had a deep interest in photography. Okay. And he established himself as both a respected landscape photographer and craftsman. He even developed the Watkins B meter, a small exposure meter with a timing chain for traveling photographers. I don't know what a B meter is. Watch the show Ancient Aliens. It's a good show. Don't agree with everything they say, but still interesting viewpoints. Yep. So I guess maybe that's him. There he is. Yeah. Because see, that's his English hat. There's his English hat. And he's carrying, looks like a dead raccoon here. That's him. But Watkins was remembered today less for his photography and more for his theory on ley lines. Per the Tate Museum, Watkins, by his own account, first discovered ley lines during a rush of revelations on June 30th, 1921. He was standing on a hill in Blackwardine when he saw on a map that a number of ancient sites stood in a perfectly straight line. His view from the top of the hill seemed to confirm this, and he followed his initial observation by examining the view from other tall hills in the area. Watkins said he was unhampered by other theories and that his observations were yielding astounding results in all districts. He further theorized that starting at any one point along the line and traveling along it would also reveal sites not marked on maps, such as forest glades, trenches, or notches on crested hills. Well, here we go. I mean, if you travel long enough in a straight line, you're going to come across some interesting notches and trenches and forest glades. What's, um, you know, what's the significance of that? Watkins' view of the world echoed from other alignment theories, all of which largely suggested the same thing, that ancient humans were in tune with some ethereal force, largely unobserved by modern man, and constructed their sacred places in specific spots where that force was the strongest. I don't know. Watson's theory didn't win over everyone, however, to this day the existence of ley lines are a heavily debated topic. Watkins claimed the ley lines are straight alignments and connecting various historic structures, landmarks, prehistoric sites, and sacred places. However, he didn't personally attribute any mystical properties to their pathway. So, if you had this theory that all these things were built on this line, then you also have to believe that whoever built those things knew the lines were there. And if they knew the lines were there, they weren't used, maybe they didn't, I doubt if they had maps like what maybe he had. I don't know. If they were built thousands of years before he discovered them, then you would also have to believe that these people could somehow feel or discover or tune into these lines uh, to build these things. So how can he say they don't have some kind of mystical properties? They would have to. The lines would have to have some kind of, you know, detectable presence, wavelength, hum, rhythm, something that supposedly people could tune into and know they were there. He first explored his theory in detail in the book Old Straight Track, in which he argued that ley lines represented ancient trading routes used by England's prehistoric societies. The straight lines allowed them to travel from one place to another as quickly as possible. British archaeologists largely disagreed with Watkins' hypothesis, though stating that it would have been impractical for prehistoric societies to travel in perfectly straight lines for trading. Just as it is today, for instance, it can be much quicker to walk around a steep hill than to climb over it. And yeah, try to walk a straight line across your yard. I mean, you know, just think of it for miles. How are you going to, you'd have to have some kind of bearing. You'd have to have some kind of target, and you'd have to be able to see the target 100% of the time so that you didn't have to walk around a group of trees and then try to get back on your line. I don't see how we could say ancient humans walked the straight line, the straight and the narrow, and never deviated from it. Yeah, you could use a compass if you had one, maybe in that stock of the Red Ryder rifle, and you could hold it up and look at it with a sundial and everything. 200 shot range rider rifle. You could do it that way. Let's see. Decades later in the 60s, Watson's idea saw something of a revival thanks to a man named Tony Wedd. Wedd, W-E-D-D. In 61, Wedd suggested ley lines were used by prehistoric humans to communicate with aliens. In fact, he believed that they were paths created to guide UFOs visiting Earth. And in 1969, John Michael wrote about ley lines in his book, The View Over Atlantis, in which he introduced the concept of Earth energies. Ley lines began to take on a more esocentrical spiritual connotation around this time. No longer were they simply trails left by ancient humans, Now they were invisible energy lines that only a select few could actually detect. Okay, so was I wrong before? Was Watkins actually saying that there's a marked line on the ground, like a cow path, that these people followed that is a perfectly straight line from point A to point B? Or was a deviation allowed in his straight line theory to walk around, huge boulders or, what I mean, foothills and rivers and gullies, valleys, all those kind of things? Maybe he said, well, it's all in a straight line as long as you take in the fact that, within 2 miles, you know what I mean? So you could really go around these spots. It was a 2 miles swath of straight line. I don't know. I don't know. See, it's kind of weird, even according to this. In 2023, BBC interviewed artist and performer Bone Tan Jones, a believer in these energy lines who walked from London to Stonehenge along one of these purported ley lines. I've been interested in ley lines for years, Tan Jones said. I grew up in the countryside connected to earth energy, so it makes complete sense to me that there are energy lines moving through the earth. But the specifics of how ley lines evolved from the trade routes of ancient humans to something more mystical are rather odd. Throughout the 60s and 70s, ley lines became attached to numerous counterculture movements, with David Newenham writing The Guardian in 2000. Ley line theory was to mutate and bifurcate, to bend with every passing fad, so that it was frequently seemed as though its only purpose was to highlight the failings of our own times, and with each twist and turn, it became even more firmly enmeshed in the thickest of mysticism, neo-paganism, and plain superstition. So, you got to take into the quality of the maps, now they've got laser guided transoms and all this kind of stuff, and they go out to, you know, uh, shoot your property lines and, and all that kind of stuff. So, a straight line now is probably a straight line. A straight line in, the early 1900s, I mean, they did an awesome job, with the railroads and stuff. So maybe they could come up with a pretty straight line, but, without that kind of equipment, I just don't see how you'd ever get a straight line. A sextant. Hmm. I, I don't know if he put that much in. Of course, it doesn't really say how much effort he put into actually saying that these were on a straight line. He may have just said, yeah, that's a pretty straight line from as the crow flies, they like to say. Uh, let's see. Here we go. Go back up here. In the 1980s, scholars Tom Williamson and Liz Bellamy tried to approach ley lines with a scientific mindset, and ultimately their findings highlighted a crucial error in the theory. Williamson and Bellamy's findings did not outright disprove the existence of ley lines, but they did cast a fair amount of reasonable doubt. Essentially, by examining the locations of various archaeological sites across England, they discovered that there was such a high density of landmarks that it was essentially possible to draw a straight line in any direction and connect multiple locations. That is, anyone could create a map of ley lines. Researcher Tom Brooks argued that keen mathematicians lived in Britain as far back as 5,000 years ago, before the Greeks had even invented geometry. He, like Watkins, examined ancient sites, 1,500 to be precise, and found that they all had been built on a series of isosceles triangles, each one guiding ancient humans to the next. Look at that. Robert is fancying up the chat people with number 1 signs. And it is the proper number 1. not the alternative -1. Anyway, and so I read this, and it's kind of cool, but I couldn't find any really good maps of these ley lines. I mean, if you do a search on ley line maps, I mean, you get all kinds of stuff from, supposedly ancient drawings to Google Maps. We're going to look at some Google Maps here in a second. I don't, I'm almost the same kind of thing that, if you stretch the straight line out long enough, and there's no guidelines on that points up or down or sideways or whatever it might be, you could draw a straight line through certain things and hit, you know, lots of interesting sites. Is an interesting site a log cabin that was a church back in the day that was the birthplace of Benjamin Franklin? I mean, I don't know, I'm making that up, but I'm just saying, who's to say what's interesting? And well, a straight line passed through the church, and then on the other side of the graveyard and went out the other side. Is that like now it's a straight path for the souls that leave the church and the graveyard to go to their next destination along the mystical highway? You could start that rumor, maybe get away with it, sell a book or two. I just couldn't find any uh, any sites that would lay down and say, okay, if you started here and went through, these Stonehenge and all these other supposedly mystical places, could you draw a straight line between them? I don't know. I have no idea. I doubt it. I doubt it. So the one thing that I did find, this has got all kinds of stuff. This is, of course, Wikipedia. All kinds of things going on here. But what I did find was leylines.net. So I don't know. I tinkered around with it for just a minute before. I found it really close to the time the show was going to start. But apparently, here on the left, you can pick Explore Map Data. All right, and I have highlighted the molar, and its about data is very, very scarce. A geological analysis of lines by Jens M. Moeller. It gives you, if you hit this link, it gives you some information. It's in German, looks like, yeah. Looks like it's in German. On geometric analysis of, I don't know, Linian von Jens M. Moeller. Ooh, whatever. So that doesn't help us a bit. But what's interesting is, oh man, you can't see it, can you? Can we move that up? You can kind of see it there. I wish I could move the page up in the, let's see, hold on a minute. What can we get rid of up here? Maybe move those up. Oh, thought I could get rid of some of this stuff like the. Oh, sorry. That looks like about the best I can do. Can I move this down? Da, 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 da. Uh-oh, Scooby. That wasn't what we wanted to do, was it? There we go. Why are you tonight? Yeah, I can't get it any different. So what you can see of this map data shows some interesting uh, lines over France and Germany. Yeah, you can see that a little better. I can't get it. I picked ideal zoom, and it brought me to the one you saw before. So I, I guess that list in German is talking about where these monuments are, or whatever it is. Yeah, that's Robert's right. If you draw enough lines that intersect more and more. So, yeah, I don't know what the stars are, but this was, like I said, leylines.net. These are maps that you can make in Google Earth or Google Maps and share them. And apparently people make these maps and share them on leylines.net. So let's see. Explore map data, data catalog. I don't know. Ancient maps, history, anomalies. See, I picked ley lines. That's where we see points of interest, sites, natural hazards, environment, weather, elliptical tracks. But I picked ley lines, and then picked some of these down here. Let's see what ancient sites alignments of West Penwith. Penwith. Oh yeah, Penwith. This is a map of ancient sites and alignments in West Penwith and the neighboring areas, the Lizard Isles of Sicily. Something you all can't see what I see. I can't see what you see. Apparently it is having trouble loading that. Refresh it. A refreshing sip of tea. Man, she's just a spinning. Come on. Oh, wait. Just wait on it. It'll be done soon. Maybe. Wait. Huh. Lots and lots of pyramids across the world apparently line up nicely. I was trying to find, like I said, I was trying to find leylines.net. I was trying to find some that would make sense, that would be easy to look and see, what they were talking about. Why would you do that? I had it before. Loading maps. Oh, here we go. Cut that out. My workbench is empty. It's a pretty cool thing with the earth here. So explore map data, ley lines. Can't remember if I did global before. Oh, here's Robert's Pyramids of the World. Let's just see. Ideal zoom. Let's see what we got. Well, that didn't work out. Whoa! Spin that puppy around. Well, that's a daggone Antarctic. Man, it's not a pyramid up there. Oh my gosh, where are we, Superman? There we are. Oh, hold on. Spin me. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. All right, so apparently these are pyramids. About data. So let's see what it says about data. Pyramids of the world based on the film Revelations of the Pyramids. ClimateViewer.org. Oh, hey bro, you lost? No, I'm not clicking there, dude. So how did we get back? Let's close that. Oh, dude, what do we get? Oh my gosh. Here we go. Woohoo, look at that. So this is locations based off of some kind of pyramid show. And oddly enough, not too many of them are on a straight line from each other. There's a pyramid. What? Where is there a pyramid? In South Carolina, is there a dang pyramid in South Carolina? I mean, a real honest to gosh, ancient, built by somebody pyramid near Athens, Georgia. I doubt that. What is this here? Why is that line shit? Oh, that's the pin. Georgia Guidestones. What is Georgia Guidestones? Georgia Guidestones. Georgia Guidestones was a granite monument that stood in Elbert County, Georgia, United States from 1980 to 1922. It was 19 feet 3 inches tall. Made of 6 granite slabs weighing a total of 746 pounds. The structure was sometimes referred to as an American Stonehenge. The monument's creator believed that there was going to be an upcoming social, nuclear, or economic calamity, and they wanted the monuments to serve as a guide for humanity and the world in which would exist after it. Controversial from its time of construction, it ultimately became the subject of conspiracy theories which alleged that it was connected to Satanism. On the morning of July 6, 2022, the guidestones were heavily damaged in a bombing from a vandal, and then the debris guidestones were removed by the local government later that day. In late July, Elberton Mayor Daniel Graves announced plans to rebuild the monument. However, on August 8th, the Elbert County Board of Commissions voted to donate the remains of the monument to the Elberton Granite Association and return the 5 acres of land on which the monument was erected to its previous owner. So apparently that was enough to make it into this dude's pyramids of the world. Yep. Oh, let's see. What's Robert saying now? Lots and lots of pyramids across the country apparently line up. I don't see that as being crucial. What is this? What is this spot right here in the middle of the ocean? Why is this significant? And why don't the lines all intersect in the same place? That's interesting. You know, why does it stop there? Australia's got Now see this little guy, he's out there by himself. This one here, he's out there by himself. He doesn't attach to anybody. He's not in line with nothing. So that one supposedly lines up with some pyramids in China. Pyramids in China. Apparently there's a lot of them right in there. That's Pyramid Row over in China right there. Yep, you can draw enough straight lines, you can make your own ley lines. And that's what they're talking about. It's nice in theory, and it sounds really cool, and it might be totally sane. I don't know. But the skeptics are, if you draw, enough lines around the world and, you know, twist it and turn it so that it shoots up and down and makes triangles and all that kind of stuff, you're going to find points that connect. And that's what some of them debunk the ley line theory of the Watkins do. So, nowhere could I find, other than speculation and, beliefs and things like that, these were mystical places that caused, special things to happen, levitation, or, the healing of blind or anything like that, to show that there was some kind of something special going on in these ley lines. But anyway, I mean, it's interesting by far, It's just I couldn't find a good map that showed what even, the most heavy believers would have in their home. I mean, if you look at all these things, I just think that this is one that was kind of interesting here. It says, it's true, all 50 U.S. capitals are on ley lines. Knowledge fact. This is a Reddit forum here. And let's see if we can get this to open a picture. All right, so this is on Knowledge Fact, an unofficial subreddit dedicated to the podcast run by Dan and Jordan. Knowledge Fact, coverage and discussion of each episode and its content therein is filtered through the episode. Please keep content typical to Knowledge Fact podcast episodes. So apparently, if you do it enough and you know what you're talking about, you can line up states and different states as capital on a straight line. But that's not to say they're all on the same straight line. By far, they're on different straight lines. So, I don't know. Huh. I don't know. Maybe play a lot to get us a world map, lay it down, highlight, put a pin in every state capital, and start stretching some lines. And then he could bring that to like next week's show and tell on the show. I vote for that. That looks like it might be true. I don't know. Huh. All right. So, I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the skeptical side of these ley line deals, as opposed to, it's the best thing since alien butter. What do y'all think? Are they true? Are they real? Do they have mystical powers? Are they just coincidental? Is it, like Robert says, you draw enough straight lines and you extend the straight lines long and far enough, then they'll touch some kind of interesting point? So the thing about the United States Capitals is probably one of the interesting pictures I come across. And the only reason I say interesting is that because it takes something that you know of that isn't not necessarily an important site mystically or magically or super you sub magic, whatever, but it's important places that that you can actually sit down on a map and you could take a ruler and you could actually draw straight lines and see how they intersect. So that in of itself. So, the capital of Tennessee aligns with the capital of South Carolina, aligns with the capital of Missouri, and then Nebraska, and so on and so forth. And so, maybe that wasn't intentional. I'm pretty sure. Coincidental, probably, or is it all just a grand scheme of things that nobody knows about and only a few people think about? So, Clell still thinks we live in a small globe hanging around someone's cat's neck. Yeah. What was the movie that had Jake Ventura, the pet detective guy, in? And he was living in a TV show. I can't remember the name of that. Petri dish. No, not Men in Black is what Clell was talking about. What was the name of that movie, boys and girls? He was on a TV show and everybody else watched him, and he didn't realize it. He thought he was in a real life, and then one day he discovered otherwise. Somebody's got to know it. Come on. That's what, Was it the Truman Show? I think you're right, Robert. Truman Show. Yeah. Let's see what the official trailer looks like. Watch the advertisement first. Oh, wait. I turned off the window capture, didn't I? Womp, womp. Womp, womp. Here we go. Skip.
Comments are still headed.
What else is on?
Yeah, let's do what else is.
Coming to you now from the largest studio ever constructed, it's The Truman Show!
Yeah!
Good morning!
Good morning.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
What if? No scripts, no cue cards.
Morning, Spencer. How's it going?
What if you were watched every moment of your life?
How many cameras you got there in that town?
5,000.
I believe Truman is the first child to have been legally adopted by a corporation.
That's correct.
Brilliant.
What if everyone you knew was pretending?
Hi, honey. Look what I got at the checkout. Dishwasher safe.
That's amazing.
What if your world was make-believe?
Cue the sun. While the world he inhabits is counterfeit,
I'm not allowed to talk to you.
That's how I look. Not your type.
there's nothing fake about Truman himself.
What if you didn't know it? Until now.
A lot of strange things have been happening. Stand by ring cam.
Is he looking at us?
Does he think he knows? I think I'm mixed up in something. Something big. We accept the reality with which we're presented.
Everybody's pretending, Truman. Get out of here. Come and find me. Truman? Truman! Truman!
Anything happen?
No.
Mm-hmm.
You may find yourself in another part of the world.
Feels like the whole...
So there you go. That was what you're talking about. The Truman Show. And that was it. We have a winner. Yes, we do. All right. Well, maybe one day we'll talk about, are we in the Matrix? Are we out of the Matrix? Is this all a filament of your imagination? And you're so happy to have me in it? I know. Next is AI, helps tremendously at first, and takes over and saves us by wiping us out. Now, Robert, don't be all afeared of the unknown. You've got to watch my 2 shows on the fears of AI. And there's probably going to be a 3rd show because it's growing by leaps and bounds, and it's going to take over the world next week. So we've only got a short period of time before AI takes over, and we're all just swimming in a petri dish. All right. Well, leaving on a happy note, I'm seeing. Oh, Robert's a scared now. Don't be afeared. Come on, Roberto. Don't be afeared. Just think, you can outrun AI in a red Super Jeep. Just saying. Red's a special color. It's a special, special color. All right. Well, if you watched, if you stayed tuned in, if you liked it, hated it, loved it, I don't care. Send me a comment. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know, do you believe in ley lines? Are they real? Are they just a bunch of straight lines drawn on a map? You're going to run out cross country. All-wheel drive, buddy. You don't even have to flip a switch. You just press the pedal and go. Press that go pedal all the way to the floor. That's what I'm saying. And just get there. Yeah. Apparently you can drive in a straight line, and who knows all the special things you'll see. Just right through. I wonder where maybe we ought to look up, see what kind of straight lines, if you started at Graceland, you started at Graceland, and you started drawing straight lines out past Graceland, what other special, monuments, sacred places could you come across in a straight line? Somebody's got to have some homework. I think it's Robert, or maybe Clell. Not me. No, I think up these ideas. I don't put them into use. All right. Enough of the gabby jabby dabby stuff tonight. Think about ley lines. Leave me a comment. Hey, I've gotten a couple of new subscribers. I'd like to thank the new subscribers. Appreciate it. And some comments. Woohoo! We're moving up in the world. And a gentleman did send me a recipe. Let me see. Give him a special. How do you do? If I can figure out how top 30 bikinis from movies. Oh, nope. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Go on now. Don't get distracted. Where are my notifications up here? Can I read those from here? Okay, here we go. Okay. Charlie's Grumman. Let's see. Charlie's Grumman 5388 sent this in, and maybe I'll try it. Fry 6 strips of bacon. It's already pretty good. Remove bacon. Dump a can of Lux Great Northern Beans or equivalent into the hot bacon grease and stir. That's fine. We'll do that. Crumble bacon and add it to the beans and enjoy. Served with mashed taters or biscuits or skillet cornbread. Don't knock it till you tried it. Lux beans are a southern tradition just like Duke's mayo and banana sandwiches. So, that sounds pretty good, really. I mean, I'm not opposed to, so if you boil that down, you're basically frying beans in bacon grease. Nothing wrong there. And then crumbling up the bacon, dropping them in there, and then eating the beans. Eating the whole thing. Serve it with mashed potatoes. Sounds like a wiener. Somebody said fried bologna tastes like a skinny hot dog. Even though I'll get the thick slices, skinny hot dog. And that's probably about true. Unless you buy whole beef, all beef hot dogs. Because bologna's not all beef. Trust me. It's not. It says right there on the label it's not all beef. All right. A couple of new followers. Got some comments. We're getting in the big leagues, boys and girls. We're getting into the big leagues. So, I apologize to all the people that have watched this far and are disappointed. Tune back in next week for further disappointment. That's all I can tell you. Maybe it gets better. Maybe it stays the same. I got 118 subscribers and I've done 189 videos. Wow. This is good. Man, I'm tired. Tired after all that. So, thanks again. Robert, Quail, thank you. Come on back Monday. Maybe we'll do something. I got to figure out what those lines were that Craig was talking about. So anyway, thanks again. Let me see if I can get this stop streaming button to work properly. And I'm sorry. I haven't put out a podcast in a while. I know everybody's looking for one. So what I'll do is I'll double, quadruple up and just dump out a bunch. Throw them out there. Let everybody see them. All right, everybody. Let's hit a straight line to the old bedposts. Between the headboards and the footboards, that straight line, I'm going to lay right down in it and zonk out. All right. Toodles, doodles. I think that was what Robert was meaning to say.